Well, it's review number 50, a multiple of 10, so you know what that means? It's Call of Duty time. I might as well just keep going in chronological order. I did Call of Duty 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, so this time we got Call of Duty Black Ops for the Xbox 360. In the long line of Call of Duty games, this is the first one to be based in the Cold War time period. It's actually refreshing not to have a first-person shooter based on a major war like World War II or Vietnam, but it was majorly refreshing that it wasn't a modern shooter because after Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, everyone else started to get on that modern shooter trend, and that was just getting oversaturated. This is the Call of Duty that had to follow the crazy popular Modern Warfare 2, so was it a successful follow-up? Well, that's what we're here to find out. You want to talk about a menu screen? This is probably the best menu screen I've reviewed to date. I mean, look at it. It's so busy, intriguing, that menu adds so much atmosphere, and you can even stand up and interact with the room which you're trapped in, which is a major good thing to have. It just gives the game more character. The campaign seemed kind of short though. I mean, I'd rather have a shorter, more concise campaign than having something like Modern Warfare 2 where there were boring ranger missions, but it just didn't seem to wow me as much. It just wasn't that memorable, which sadly I think is an important part of the Call of Duty campaign formula, memorable moments. Like I can remember one shot, one kill from Call of Duty 4. I can remember the Vendetta mission and planting the flag in World at War. I remember snowmobiling and ice picking at the end of Modern Warfare 2's campaign, and I remember bits and pieces of Black Ops, but the campaign just didn't seem to have a lasting impact. The only thing I remember is the Vorkuta! Vorkuta! What is step 2? In the one Vorkuta mission. That's the only thing. I'd say for Call of Duty campaign comparisons, it's better than World at War. It's about the same as Modern Warfare 2, just with lower highs and higher lows, because Modern Warfare 2 was just such a roller coaster for me. But Call of Duty 4 was probably the best campaign I've reviewed so far, so that's how they stack up. As with all of the Treyarch-made Call of Duty games, this one has a zombies mode, and while I think it could have been a little bit more simplistic, it's a fine zombies mode and a great player versus environment mode. To start, you get the default Kino der Toten, which immediately splits you into two different paths to go around a theater, get to the mystery box, then you can access the Pack-a-Punch machine. Like I said, it's a good map. It's more run and gun than the previous maps in World at War, but it's still a fun map to play nonetheless. Also, by playing through the campaign, you can unlock the map 5, which is set in the Pentagon. I didn't really play this map very much, maybe 15 to 20 games ever, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's just a little confusing to get around. The corridors were really narrow, you couldn't really walk by the zombies, and I just thought Kino der Toten was a better map, so that's why I would primarily play Kino der Toten. The only reason I would play 5 was to play as one of the presidents. There were several other DLC maps that you could pay $10 for, as was the case with the World at War, and the first was Ascension, which I remember playing Ascension a lot. It was a lot more linear than the other Black Ops maps. There was a lot more space to run around. You didn't get trapped in corners as much, which made progression a lot easier for me. And that made grasping the newer concepts on the map easier too, because there was a lot of stuff they introduced. So Ascension is probably my favorite map on Black Ops. Kino der Toten is like right underneath it, but they're still both great maps. Then there was Call of the Dead, which was another map that wasn't very linear and the corridors weren't really wide. I don't remember playing it a ton. I know it's outside. There were movie actors as playable characters. There was a director that came around and zapped you if you camped in one spot too long. That's all I really have to say about it. Black Ops was also the first Call of Duty game to contain a Dead Ops arcade mode, which is a completely different game type. It was a dual stick shooter with a silverback monkey and you collected jewels? Like what? Where did this even come from? How is this even in the game? And it's so funny because it's such a good mode. It's so fun to play if you need a break from the traditional COD formula. And it's a perfect way to decompress, although it can get hectic towards the end of it. And now we're going to talk about the multiplayer, which is primarily why people buy Call of Duty in the first place, and this one was different. I mean, it was a peak golden age Call of Duty game, so I played it a lot, but it just didn't feel right. For starters, there's the introduction of COD points, and it was a currency to purchase weapons, attachments, camos, and other personalizations after being unlocked, so you could pick and choose what you wanted. It was a good system to mix it up in the scale of Modern Warfare 2, where you had to unlock everything, but I don't think they went about it right. Traditionally, in Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, you had to get headshots with guns to unlock certain camos, but all the camos on these guns were just COD point purchases, so it didn't really take any skill or grinding to unlock the various camos other than gold, which you had to get by prestiging, so You didn't really know the skill of other players that killed you in the kill cam. Everyone just had whatever camos they could purchase with the COD points. But the COD points also introduced wager matches, which were fun game modes to play but at the expense of betting your COD points, which would make for some heart-pounding moments because if you didn't do well, you lost out on actual rewards. The multiplayer as a whole just had a different feel than Modern Warfare 2. It was more cartoony, more arcadey, which Treyarch often brings to the table, which again is more of a personal preference, but in my case it just didn't seem as fun or as natural. There wasn't a grind for camo, so it just was different. What does stand out about the multiplayer coming back for this review is the combat training, which is being able to play against bots to improve your skill and get better. And as an offline mode to play, coming back to it years later, it's a blast. So my final thoughts, it's a great Call of Duty game. I've seen it ranked as one of the best, if not the best Call of Duty before, which is a little bit of a stretch, but it firmly sits in the middle of the Call of Duty golden era chronologically, and rightfully so. It contributed a lot to the series. It was still a great Call of Duty. It belongs in that golden era. So no first-person shooter list or Xbox 360 list to put this on, so this game goes unranked. But if I'm being honest, I have this ranked 6th out of 50 games I've reviewed so far, which I think is more than fair given the other games I've reviewed. Nothing wrong with being 6th on this list. And now, with 50 reviews under my belt, it's time to go gold. The blue era's over, my own golden age has begun. Or at least I hope I have a golden age, fingers crossed. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, another review coming soon, see you then.